All right, let's dive into a little bit of Stranger Things, guys. Season finale, series finale, I should say, the show in general. Spoilers ahead, but I want to talk about a couple things. First and foremost, I can't stress how powerful like this image is and what this means. We have three different groups, really four if you think about it from the parents' perspective. Although some of the parents were completely like oblivious of things that they have to do to move on, of where they have to go to move on. We have the main group who has been through it all, who is lost, who is loved, who is kind of divided because they're moving on with their life. They're moving on from school. They're moving on. Maybe it seems to be everybody from Hawkins. And Mike's dealing with the loss of 11 and also the loss of his childhood and the loss of his friends. Not the loss of his core friends, but what that means when he looks back at the basement and he sees his sister and the group of kids that they saved. Then you have the group of kids that have to live with what they went through. Because remember, they were fighting their own battle with Vecna and the Mind Flayer and Mr. What's It, and they bonded, and now they have to move forward. And then you have the parents who, wow, Hopper got himself his woman, and they're going to leave. That's great. The Wheeler family's hardcore, but look what they went through. And then the others, what they went through. So you have all these moments. And I think that that's powerful. And then you have this group right here, who's older, who's all been through it, who has helped these kids, who's been sucked in by what they thought was their younger siblings and friends' childish game, and they realized was much more powerful, who have grown and also lost. I thought that was really, really awesome. I think that's such great storytelling. I'm also really happy, and I can't stress this enough, that we saw Vecna being pure evil. We saw Henry be what he is, pure evil. He wasn't made this way. He was evil prior to the Mind Flayer's influence. We saw that, and we realized that, and he openly admits that. And we saw the outcome of that, and they weren't afraid to do that. They didn't do the Anakin Skywalker. That was a little bit different. They didn't do this, Thanos was, kind of right. He just handled it wrong. No, this dude's evil. And he got beheaded for it, and that was brutal. I like the way that they handled 11. I thought that was great. I think this show overall is one of the best shows to hit television, streaming in years. There are moments and there are things that did not work. I still think that Will's coming out scene, if you're going to include that, I felt like they didn't handle it right. I felt like it took too long and felt like it was inserted for no reason. And the way that they tried to connect it to Will becoming stronger to handle Vecna, I don't know. But whatever. Linda Hamilton's character, to me, got to be the biggest waste out there. Number one, super cool you brought Linda Hamilton in. I'm down. I like that she was a villain. And it started off, to me, where she was kind of going beyond Brenner. She knew what was happening. She knew why 11 was important. She knew why these kids were important. And yeah, she didn't care about the demon dogs. Wow, demon dogs. Demodogs, I'm tired. Demogorgons, which is kind of weird because they were part of the Abyss. But she wanted to get to Dimension X, the Abyss. She didn't care that Vecna came in and whacked out half of her men. She just had to get 11 so that she could take it to control and unleash these monsters on Russia and whatever. But at the beginning, it seemed like she was trying to get to the Abyss. And there was something there. But in the end, it turned into this, we're just going to destroy the Russians. And she was irrelevant. She never did anything. She showed up at the wrong time. She never got 11. And what happened to her at the end? After 11 sacrificed herself, after they blew up the bridge, the army just left forget it. You killed a bunch of our guys, but we're going to leave. Okay. We're not going to keep you to try to track her down. She's dead. We don't need you anymore. We're just going to assume that you don't say anything. Okay. kind of a wasted character. I don't like the way they handled that. I'd have rather had Vecna come out and just kill her. Or she finally confronts Vecna. She follows them into the Upside Down and Vecna's there. She follows them to the Abyss and she gets whacked. Or whatever. Or when Vecna came back to the real world, she gets killed. I did like that. I loved how Henry switched over into the real world to get Hopper to essentially break that connection. Like, there were some really cool moments. And you had to go and play Purple Rain. You had to do it. I was excited when you played Prince and they were in the van. Happy. But the minute Purple Rain hit, besides singing and standing up, the emotions came. Because that song is an emotional, beautiful song to begin with. And then you got to roll the credits with Heroes. And Heroes is like my jam. It's a song that I played for my son when he wasn't even out of the womb yet. It's a song that whenever my son was sick, couldn't sleep, had a nightmare, I would hold him and sing Heroes to him. I would put David Bowie on YouTube on the video to watch it to calm him down. To this day, he's 8 years old, although he doesn't listen to it very much anymore. He's got a David Bowie poster in his room with the lyrics on it. So that has been an emotional song for me for a long time. It was an emotional song in season 1 with Wilt, and they did that beautiful rendition. And then you brought it all the way back. The Duffer Brothers know how to use music, period. But this is beyond just a sci-fi show. I've said it in my first video. This show was about family, growing up, relationship. I mean, just it made you think. And if it didn't make you think about your own childhood, you didn't immerse yourself in the show. I do think that the way that they released it was weird. I don't know if I understand why. I know the simplicity of it, but the show probably should have ended a couple years ago. I know it got delayed multiple times, COVID, the strike and all that. And that, I think, hurt the show. And I think that was hard to swallow for some people because they didn't, the way the characters grew up, they were like, eh. But you know what? We watch these characters grow up as they literally grew up. All of them. That's amazing because a lot of times we don't get closure on TV shows. And we can speculate on this, that, and the other thing, on why they did it or why they didn't do it. But the reality is we got a beginning and an end, and it completed it. And there might be some questions. Yes, how did they get this in the briefcase? Who was that? We know maybe he was a scientist that escaped. He got that. I would have liked to know a little more of that because I'm a nerd. I want to know the lore, but I'm okay because we know enough. And some things can be open for interpretation and imagination. There are some cringe moments, but you know what? Overall, this show was a great show. I hope that they don't just destroy it with spinoffs and all this. I'm interested in this animated because I'm like, why do we need it? It's going to take place between season 2 and 3, so I'm interested about that. It's got our same crew. I'm curious to see if it's going to add anything or just be another fun thing. I really want to see the play. I need to look online. I think it's kind of crazy that they did this play that held answers to Stranger Things, but it wasn't ever streamed on Netflix other than the behind the scenes, and you're expected to know it and watch it and find it on YouTube. I don't like that. But hopefully we can get that on Netflix one day. I think that'd be cool, even if it's for a short period of time. I know you can find it online, so honestly, I'm probably just going to find it online. I would love to go see it, to be honest with you. I mean, it looked at Creel. It looked at some very specific things that were important to what we saw in the finale. So overall, though, Duffer Brothers did a great job. I'm excited the cast got to finish their story.